Welcome to Nollywood Edits. Today I'm going to explain a Nigerian horror mystery film released in the year 2020 called Nneka the Pretty Serpent. The movie begins with a woman telling her daughter a story and promises the little girl that she would be a queen at the age of 32. The family of three have a lovely family time with each other just before hiding their daughter away with teary eyes. Suddenly, a bunch of intruders barge in and slay the parents. After watching the death of her parents, the girl flees immediately. Nneka has grown up into a young beautiful maiden. She gets nightmares of her parents' death. She is due on her house rent and always disturbed by her landlord. One day he demands for her to pay the rent with her body, but she rejects the offer. She works in a restaurant as a waitress with her friend Ada under strict surveillance by their manager Benga. Nneka has a crush on a regular customer and friend Tony. However, one day Nneka is on a bus with her friend Ada, but suddenly she runs out of the bus in a trance-like state into what appears to be an abandoned building. She sees an old woman, a native doctor. She tells the woman her dreams, and the woman reads her destiny and suddenly jolts away from Nneka, saying all she sees is darkness and anger. She shoos Nneka away. Nneka thinks about what the old lady said. However, Nneka reports to work as usual. She is distracted and ends up making a mess. Tony appears at the scene and offers her a ride home. Tony relays to her that he just got a nice contract, but before letting her go, he wishes her happy birthday. That night, Nneka runs off at night to the seaside. She suddenly dives into the sea in a trance. A spirit snake enters her body through her mouth. She comes out of the ocean naked, and a couple stares at her body. She covered her body and got home at night, only to be blocked by her landlord. She hypnotized her landlord and tells him to walk away, with her eyes turning green. She freshes up at night, only to see a woman in the mirror, and she's frightened. The woman, the queen mother, wants Nneka to help her with revenge and convinces Nneka that these same people she wants to revenge are also responsible for her parents' death. The next morning, Nneka wakes up on the cold floor. Nneka wanted to take morning pills, but she realized that she feels better just by taking water only. Apparently, water has a healing effect on her body. Nneka attempts to cut oranges, but ends up cutting herself. She rinses her hand with tap water. The water heals her wound immediately. She submerges herself in water and she wakes up in a spirit world with purple flowers. The queen mother rises from the river. She tells Nneka who should be her first target. The target is a wealthy middle-aged man. Nneka finds her target in a park. When the man lays his eyes on Nneka, she is captivated, and without wasting time, he follows her out and he offers her a ride. She accepts his offer and they start making out in the car. Nneka bites the middle-aged man on the neck, killing the man immediately. She flees with a case filled with money. The man's acquaintance finds the dead body in the car and calls the police immediately. Inspector Daniel interrogates the man that found the body, but he finds no clue on who killed the middle-aged man. Nneka and her friend Ada visit the club and they end up wasted. The next day, Ada has a hangover. She worries Nneka only pay for their drinks, and Nneka lied that she had a grandma who died and left her with a huge inheritance and that she's basically a millionaire. Ada buys the excuse and is happy for her friend. They immediately go shopping together. They buy over their former place of work and sack their manager without wasting time. Nneka hands over the management of the restaurant to Ada. Meanwhile, the pathologist reports the results of the autopsy to the inspector and informs him of a snake bite present on the body. At a formal reception, Nneka goes on to her next target, who is a rich middle-aged woman. The woman meets Nneka at the bathroom and they have a lovely conversation. Nneka hands the woman her perfume. The woman sprays it on her neck and a bruise automatically appears on the woman's neck. Nneka starts thrashing the woman and leaves her dead on the cold floor. Nneka meets up with her friend Tony and they try to catch up. Tony gets out of the car to get something. While he was out, Nneka found the wedding photo of Tony and an unknown woman. She also found a wedding ring in the car. She is hurt by the truth that Tony is married and leaves without waiting for Tony to return. She blocks his number immediately. On her way home, she is cornered by her former manager Benga. Immediately, the lights go out and Nneka calls his name Erili and kills him without regret. Inspector Daniel gathers clues related to the deaths at the deceased family member's residence and he finds a link. However, the queen mother is happy with Nneka's progress. She informs Nneka of her next target and she intends to kill 6 people, with 2 down and 4 more to go. Nneka moves on to her third target, but she fails miserably. she's bruised in the process. Nneka finds out from Facebook that Tony's previous wife had died 5 months ago. She meets up with Tony and they get together officially. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door which interrupts the couple's sweet moments. Apparently, 2 women, Tony's mom and aunt, came in, but there is a catch. Tony's aunt appears to be one of Nneka's targets. The 2 women are not pleased to see Nneka in their son's house. Nneka visits the queen mother again. This time, she is going to get rid of Chinoye, Tony's aunt. Nneka corners the woman in a club. She takes her out and leaves the woman in cold blood. Tony's sister Tessie is back in town. She barges into Tony's home. Tony introduces Nneka and Tessie to each other. Tessie doesn't have a good first impression of Nneka and she snubs Nneka a lot. Nneka sprays her snake breath on the fruits. She also invites Tessie for a chat. Nneka tells Tessie how much she loves Tony. Tessie eats banana from the plate and suddenly her impression of Nneka changes. Nneka takes down one more target disguised as an air hostess on his plane. And now she's left with 2 more to go. Tony introduces Nneka to his uncle. Nneka sees him and recognizes the uncle as one of the targets whom she failed to kill the other day. Nneka sneaks into Tony's uncle's workplace as a janitor. She wastes no time in shredding the old man to pieces till he breathes his last breath. Now she has 1 more target to go. Inspector Daniels questions Tony on his uncle's death and Tony gives his statement. The inspector checks the CCTV camera and he finds Nneka in the premises before the death occurred. The inspector goes over to Tony's house and Nneka invites him in. The inspector looks anxious. He accidentally drops his evidence. Nneka picks up. She knows immediately that she has to take the inspector out. They end up in a nasty fight. The fight concludes with Nneka killing the inspector and hiding the dead body. She cleans up the scene immediately before Tony gets back. Nneka sees her last target, who appears to be Tony's father. This time, she decides to drop her revenge. She goes over to the spirit world to inform the Queen Mother, but the Queen Mother successfully convinces Nneka to kill him. She visits Tony's father, Anthony, in the church. Anthony ends up delivering Nneka from the hands of the snake spirit, the Queen Mother. He tells Nneka that it was the Queen Mother who killed her parents and that the 6 of them, targets, were all pawns. In order to cleanse himself from his sins, he commits suicide. The Queen Mother isn't happy, so since Anthony is dead, as revenge, the Queen Mother kills Nneka's best friend Ada in a fire accident at their restaurant. She wanted Anthony's blood on her hands. Since the Queen Mother didn't hurt Anthony, she moves on to his king, Tony. She successfully possesses Nneka again to finish what she started. Nneka tries to fight for control over her body. She doesn't want the Queen Mother to kill her beloved Tony. Nneka stabs herself with a knife and falls unconscious. She sees her late mother. Her late mother crowns her as the next queen over the spirit realm and informs her of the Queen Mother's death. Seemingly, when she stabbed herself, she killed the Queen Mother in the process. Her late mother informs her of her responsibility to protect the kingdom from the wicked. The end. Make sure to like and subscribe.